Hey guys, thanks for tuning in again. I want to talk to you about a couple of things today. They're both related to each other and I'll tie them both together as the video unfolds. But let me just start by saying I can be a little bit of a negative person at times. I'm not going to get into the full story as to why that happens in my life. It's a fair old story and I'll share that for another day. Maybe I'll give a bit of testimony later on. But for today, what I want to say is I do battle with it, but I am working towards it. I'm working towards trying to turn my life around and just be more positive. And what I want to do today, and I think I'm going to do a few videos on this as this thing unfolds. I want to talk about ways in which I'm trying to turn from being negative to being more positive. And it's worth doing. Everyone around me wants me to be more positive. My family need me to be more positive and so on. So I want to share a few ideas with you as all of this unfolds as to how we can be a bit more positive and how I'm trying to work it out in my life. Now you might see before me, wondering why on earth am I standing behind this stuff? You might see before me coffee, cool mug and a French press. I want to tell you today how to make a really good cup of coffee, how to brew a really good cup of coffee. And that's why these things are before me today. So I want to start by saying, for a mug this size, and it's a decent sized mug, you can't have one of these silly little cups. I want a proper mug of coffee. I would generally use about, I don't know if you can see the spoon in there, it's a standard coffee spoon. I would use about 2.5 to 3 of them. I quite like my coffee strong, and I generally use medium to dark roast. I do cheat. I actually use ground coffee, but if you want an even better taste and you've got more time to do it, I would suggest you use your beans and grind your beans yourself. There's lots of people that will be able to tell you how to get that perfect grind. I'm not going to get into that today. And I choose to use a French press. I used drip coffee for quite a long time. The normal coffee machines, you pour the water in and the coffee in and it does it all for you. I used that for quite a long time and it's quite a nice coffee. It tends to be quite clean. You don't get so much of the dust and stuff in it. But you can't beat a French press. You have to run it through a filter to get all the bits and pieces out of it, but you can't beat it for a good cup of coffee. So what I do, I use 3 spoons. I boil my kettle, I boil my water, and then I leave it for a little while so I don't burn the coffee. And once you feel it's been left for, I don't know, about a minute, I pour my water over the coffee, making sure that it's all nicely covered in water. And then I leave it for a few minutes with the lid off, with the press off. I leave it for a few minutes. I think the experts say leave it for 4 minutes. And then what I do, I go and scoop off. You'll see that on the top you get almost like crustacean of coffee grinds. I scoop off what I can see. I don't want to waste the coffee, so I'm just scooping off the grinds. And then again, I leave it for a few minutes. And then I come along and I put my press on and I press it down really slowly so it gets all the way to the bottom of the dispenser. And then I'm ready to pour myself a fantastic cup of coffee. So that's how I believe you can make yourself the best brew of coffee. So now why am I sharing this with you today? I want to share it with you because I think this is one of the ways in which I try to beat my negativity. I'm trying to build into my life different ways of doing something that I put a lot of myself into, doing stuff that I feel quite pleased with, that I've achieved. You might think all the hassle of leaving the kettle and brewing a cup of coffee, scooping off the top of the stuff, you might think that it's a lot of palaver just to make yourself a cup of coffee. Why not just get yourself some instant coffee and Bob's your uncle, or get one of these machines, put the capsule in, press play, and it's all done for you. You might think, why don't you just do that? But for me to actually take the time to brew myself a really decent cup of coffee, it's a small thing, yes, but I come away from it feeling, yeah, I've put the work in and I've got the reward. I've got myself a lacquer cup of coffee, you know. And I just want to say to you today, maybe you're a person like me and you've got quite a bit of negativity in your life. I want to encourage you to start building, even if it's just small things, building things into your life that once you've done them, you feel pretty good. And the more you build this stuff into your life, I believe it helps fight against the negativity. I've got friends that do all sorts of stuff. Maybe they go out and they do some hunting or some fishing, come home with a nice big fish. I've got another friend who just loves to clear out his garage. If he's got a weekend off, he'll clear out his garage and he'll reorganise everything. He's a builder, so he's got lots of tools and stuff and screws and stuff like that in jars. And he'll reorganise his garage and he feels totally revitalised by it. So if you're someone who battles with negativity, take the time to think about what you can do to achieve something and feel really quite pleased with yourself for having done it, and it really will help you beat the negativity trap. Anyway guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you found that helpful, and if at the very least maybe I've taught you how to make a decent brew of coffee. I'll speak to you again guys. Thanks for tuning in.